Like, if you're just looking for a straight gore fest, I don't think Berserk is the very first place. I feel like it gets that reputation. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of funny because it's like I don't see it like a Mortal Kombat thing, right? Where like Mortal Kombat's like we are gore, that is what we do. We literally make our developers like watch car crashes to know how bodies get mangled, right? Like it's like not like that. I feel like it's more so like I'm gonna use this in as many like visceral ways as I can, and I'm gonna get really gross just for stuff that I think matters. And that's the
Yes.
Mira way. Yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
just I feel like it's more for like to like make something poignant. And we even gotten that with like Guts' fights with, it's like when Zod threw his sword down to Guts and Guts caught it and then like, killed the guy he was attacking, right? Like that was
Like the YouTube guys were like, "Oh my god!"
exactly. It was sick, but like the point wasn't that he cut his head off, right? Because like we watch Guts cut people's heads off all the time.
All the time.
Like, and I feel like that kind of is the thing. It's like the gore in here is like consistent and it's like expected, right? But I don't feel like it's like top tier. Like there's some stuff I won't read because I'm like, this is too gory. Like I don't get enjoyment out of this. And Berserk actually so far is not one of those things. There are times where I put Berserk down because I'm like, that was kind of fucked up. I'll take a day or two break. But like, it's not where it's like I've even read like Kurosaki like Corpse Delivery Service. That's like more morbid gore. That's like that can make your stomach churn if you're not like prepared for that type of
Yeah.
stuff, right? And I don't think
Should
Berserk
read.
is quite there.
Not you. I know you have, but like everyone else.
Oh, everybody else read Kurosaki
The
Corpse
fifth,
Delivery
omnibus
Service.
just came out for it, so it's
Yes.
complete now.
Awesome. I need
Which
to
is
get
exciting.
that.
I need to read it everything because I read like the first three, I think, and then I had stopped for a while. It's been like years.
Yeah, I think
So
I
I need
actually
to.
have Sasha's copy that y'all let me borrow is over here somewhere, actually. Yeah.
What do you do? No, I have all those. Oh, we let you
Yeah.
some of the volumes.
Yeah, one of the little volumes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was like, wait, I have 4 omnibus.
No, yeah,
I
not
keep
the
a
omnibus.
that, honestly,
Yeah.
because we have all the omnibus now. So
Yeah, I think the next manga I'm gonna start reading is Chainsaw Man because I know it's still going,
it's
but
only
yeah.
the first arc is done, and it's only 11 volumes.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and they're not too long, and that caps off like an entire story, basically. Like I thought
Okay.
the manga was done, but it's not. There's another thing happening.
Okay,
And like
cool.
I thought it was like Sasha thought it was like a sequel, but I think it's just like continuation of Chainsaw Man based off how people are talking about it, but I haven't read it yet. So
Right. Okay. Okay. It is like one of the more current ones. I wonder how long that one will go on. Honestly, I'm kind of curious.
I have a feeling it's gonna get beat to death. I'm just
Uh,
gonna put out there into the world. Unfortunately, because it's doing really well. It did really well for Shonen Jump Plus, I think.
yeah.
The anime is doing really well. It just like rose to the top so quickly, especially like over here. Like it
Yeah.
had been out for a bit, but then it just like shot up.
Cause yeah, I saw when it first started taking off a year or two ago. I remember people really talking about it, and I think these past 6 or 7 months, it just has been like
It's
nonstop.
been like
Like,
astronomical.
yeah.
It's kind of insane, honestly, how like quickly like it's become almost a household name for like shonen,
Hmm.
which when you read it, we will talk about things. We will do a little
I don't
chainsaw
know. We'll
episode.
see. We might do some Chainsaw Man episodes. I was actually kind of thinking about that, just because we might have something a little more current.
Hmm.
Because I do want to talk about different types of manga, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I love shonen anime and mangas mostly because I feel like some of them get a bad rep. Just because like they are stale, right? They do get stale to a certain point. Um, Dragon Ball, I love it to death. I don't know how my fellow Dragon Ball Z fans can like keep up all at the same time. Mostly because the cycle with Dragon Ball Z is villain shows up, kicks their asses, they power up, they go beat the villain, and either one of two things happens. They either actually beat the villain or oh shit, he gets stronger. Oh no, okay, it gets a little harder, and then they beat the villain, and then the cycle continues, right? Which like
It's loop.
after so many years, it's hard to like keep up or care about it as much. But I feel like it was really well done. I feel like the original Naruto series is actually pretty well done in some parts. I feel like I understand why people don't like it because I feel like there's some of the writing that is pretty fucking difficult to get through personally.
There's
But
also like skip the filler episodes that are
yeah,
like truly unnecessary, and then you get some that have
like
backstory.
like
And like,
Bleach.
oh
Uh,
my god,
Bleach has entire like filler arcs. Like it's not even like a filler like episode. It's filler like you won't see Ichigo for like 20 episodes type shit.
it's true. I've watched at least 160 episodes of Bleach in my life. That was years ago when I had stamina, but yeah, there's just like entire bits where you're like, we're just doing this shit now, and then it pops back, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
we're in the middle of a fight. What?
exactly. Yep. Yep. There's just so many long. I feel like that's the thing about shonens that gets me too, right? And I know we're talking about it. We're currently in the middle of a manga that's still going, right? Despite the author being dead, but
Somehow.
I feel like they just go on for so long. Oh, Hunter. By the way, this happened since the last episode.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter is back in publication. What the fuck? It just kind of came out of nowhere, and then and then like 2 or 3 days later, the next chapter came out. The author, she's back. It's already publishing and stuff. So if you're a Hunter x Hunter fan and you've been waiting and you just didn't know, it's back. So
Is his wife helping him now with it?
I thought it was a woman who did it in the first place. I don't know. I think I'm getting my mangaka confused, probably.
I think he's married to the creator of Sailor Moon.
Oh, that's what it is. No, yeah, so it's a he. Yeah, never mind. No, I think he is doing it. I think his wife might be helping, but
Yeah.
he is definitely yeah, it's back. And the thing is that for people who don't know, Hunter x Hunter's been on hiatus for a long time. I actually don't remember how long, but it's been a long ass time.
Yeah.
Like since before I was in college, I think. It's been like they have not had a new chapter in forever. So it's kind of crazy, yeah.
It's also kind of a big deal because he didn't think he was going to be able to continue it because of his disability, because there were several years where he literally could not do anything on his own.
Yeah.
And his wife was helping him with a lot of that. But he's finally at a point in, like, I don't know if it's recovery, but he's at a point where he can comfortably draw for a certain period of time in bed, and he has like a setup for that.
That's good.
He's like worked his hand back up to the point where he can use it to do that again. And I'm pretty sure she's also helping like panel some stuff.
That's so cool. I'm glad he found a way to do it. Because you're right.
Because a lot of people are like, I can't believe it's been on diet, blah blah blah. And I'm like, he's disabled, bro. Like,
yeah, he's disabled. Thank you for bringing that up.
Live or whatever, which Miura was also disabled. He was very sick.
Yes, he's very sick.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some authors who are just off doing shit. It wasn't that.
It wasn't that. And that's what I was gonna say. I forgot it was disability, but like that's the thing is like they said indefinite. Like that's the thing. He didn't know if it was coming back. Nobody knew if it was coming back or not. So yeah, it was huge news.
And I'm really happy that he's able to continue it on his terms in that way, because I think I was kind of worried someone else was gonna they were gonna have someone else try to finish it, especially with how stuff has gone with Berserk. So I was kind of like a little concerned. I don't even read Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter. I just like have absorbed a lot of it, and it's one of Chevall's favorites. So I've like listened to him talk about it.
I love the anime. I need to read the actual manga, but the anime is really good. It has anime issues, but it is pretty good. There's if you haven't read it, if you're like a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, which that's like my top, like one of my like top 3 anime and mangas or whatever. If you like that, the same guy did both of them. Like I think one of the promotional images they did to show that Hunter x Hunter was coming back was like they took Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho and had him next to Gon. So like it's good if you like action, if you like I don't know, like really intricate, like fun, like arcs, because every arc is so different from the past one. Like they either add like, it's kind of like JoJo where they either like add like a new power thing or they just completely like re-scheme everything for the next season, right? And that's what I liked a lot about the anime. Like at one point they go into a video game, so an entire season is inside of a game, but like you can die in the game, but it's like not corny like Sword Art Online. Yeah. It's yeah, exactly. It's a good little manga if you really like action and you're like want to get attached to some like
Nice.
pretty good characters. Like Gon is your usual shonen protagonist, right? Like his story is a little muddy, which makes it interesting. But like there's like Kurapika and all these other people. It's a fun little one. It's one of the shonens that got me back into shonens. I was kind of done with them for a while, and then my friends told me, "Yeah, watch Hunter x Hunter, you'll like it." And I was like, "Sure, I will," and I fucking loved it. So I'm glad that's back, and that actually made me want to read it now that it's like back. I was like, "Oh yeah, I should read that." So go support him. Go support Hunter x Hunter if you can. It's obviously taken them a lot to like get this out. So shout out to them for being able to like put this together, because you can tell he wanted it to come back. It was just like
Right.
he couldn't do it. So yeah.
Right. I have a moderately related very funny story. Not it's funny, but it's also bad.
Yeah.
I was watching TikToks one day, and this one lady, she's a teacher, and she was talking about how like she's been trying to like relate to like her class more and like her kids more, and anime is so big right now, but she doesn't know like a whole lot about it. But her husband does, and so he's been helping her like pick out shirts to wear and stuff. He had her wear a Hisoka shirt to school.
No, he's a pedophile. No,
why did you do her like that? And her kids recognized it. It was like, babe, you got a pedophile on your shirt.
You got a pedo on your shirt, like, and that's not even like a fan theory.
He didn't warn her. She didn't know. She was like, "What are you talking about?"
And she was to her kids.
She goes on TikTok and she's like, "I need you guys to tell me who this man is, because like I don't want to wear that, but like what?" And I'm like, "Why did your husband do you dirty like that?"
He obviously wasn't trying, or he was like, "Oh, it's just a joke in the show. It doesn't mean." No, he's a pedophile. He is a pedophile in the series. Anyway. That is fucking hilarious. I
was dead, but also I was like, divorce. No, not actually, but like, I didn't do that to you.
Yeah, why would you?
That's like unhinged behavior. And like, he's watched the series. Like, he's watched the series. He's recommended, because he's given her like JoJo shirts to wear, and he's given her like all this other stuff, and like. She just is trying to like connect with them, and like I don't know if it is Brady was like Hisoka's popular and like didn't think, or if he like genuinely set her up. But like either way,
I hope he didn't. That's fucked up. Okay, yeah, don't ever. Here's the thing: it's already risky. It's already risky to wear anime merchandise, and she was just doing it to relate to her kids.
Yeah, and like give a talking point, because she's like, I don't know this. Really, but these kids get really excited about it, and then they tell me about it, and we like build a rapport, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's kind of cool. And like I would prefer if like my teacher actually knew what was on their shirt, but like I'll talk about it with you, especially in high school. But like what a conversation. Oh my fucking god. She just comes in with like fighting game shirts someday.
Yeah. She's like, it's the Jacko pose. It's so cute, right? Yeah. I cannot believe that. I am
I was
fucking
gobsmacked.
dead.
I was like, no.
Wow.
You're like doing it right now. But no, she was dead ass serious.
Who is this man?
I don't know. I was like, she was like, I need you guys to tell me who this man is, because these kids are telling me and touches kids, and like I don't know what's going on, and I was just like, ma'am, I am so sorry.
Do a little bit of research, but I am so sorry he did that to you. Yeah.
Like, please research who your husband's having you put on a shirt to wear to school where there's children.
Obviously, you can't trust him, so yeah,
no.
like
I have to go. Something. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, wear Goku shirt every day. The kids still like the Dragon Ball. That's fine.
Boruto's out. Dragon Ball's still kicking. You could do like
Boruto. My Hero Academia. Just don't pick one of the sexy teachers or something.
Don't pick Miss Midnight or whatever.
Miss Midnight or dude. Sorry, last thing. We are going to sign off in a second.
Yeah.
Dude, I have not watched My Hero Academia in a long time, right? I have not caught up with it.
Please continue.
I'm going to say something that was cool, but real quick, I just remembered. There's a panel that explains that one of the villains used to play League of Legends solo queue. Like it's actually that's an actual page, right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it's Shigaraki, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Shigaraki, one of his origin stories is that he was a LOL kid. He used to play fucking League of Legends, and that's like one of his like character backgrounds. I thought it was like a meme that somebody edited, and then somebody posted the actual manga page, and I was like, but what I was originally gonna say. So apparently, one of the assistants who works on the My Hero Academia manga is a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan, and she drew a bunch of one of the characters. It's like a bunny girl or something. Which, can this anime get any hornier? Yes. The bunny girl, but they dressed her up in a bunch of like different photo shoots that Megan Thee Stallion did, and then Megan Thee Stallion was that character for Halloween, which is kind of cool. So it was like a cool like little full circle moment. Yeah, it was a fun little thing. It's always fun because like she actually is like a manga fan or whatever. So she's always doing like cool outfits and like trying like doing cosplay stuff.
I love all her cosplay. It's so fun.
When she was Hellraiser last year.
Yeah, the Hellraiser
holy
one was
shit. Fun. Yeah, she did the Todoroki one like 2 or 3 years ago, and that one was super solid. Like
it was Tina Snow, and then like the Hot Girl Summer thing. It was like fun. I was like, that's good. I like that. But there was a recent thing that happened with My Hero.
Oh no.
That correct reaction to that.
No.
So, for some context, apparently sales have not been doing nearly as well. There are
Chainsaw Man whooping that ass.
It is. It is. And like there's actual like Shonen Jump titles that are whooping that ass right now too. Ooh. Demon Slayer, which is finished and has been finished for months, is outselling Hero Academia.
Damn.
Which is hilarious. Deserved. Also, I need to finish the fucking anime. But anyways, so they did a panel not a panel, they did a cover for one of the recent ones, and it got leaked. And it is of, the Invisible Girl in it. You know how her whole joke is that she's like naked, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he actually drew her like uninvisible on the cover and just has like caution tape precariously like over everything. And people were surprised by this, which is the funniest part of the whole story to me. It's gross, right? She's a minor, but like I'm like, first of all, you have to save your sales that badly that you're gonna do that. But secondly, people were like, I can't believe he would do this, and I'm like,
you can't believe the perv is a perv.
Right, you can't believe the man that made a self-insert that's like the perviest, horniest motherfucker in the whole series. And gross.
Nasty.
Disgusting. Everyone hates him. It's his self-insert, basically. He said he relates to him.
He's like, I feel him.
That man would draw a naked girl on the cover of his thing. Like, and she's in like a very provocative pose.
Oh
like
my god.
Fell down kind of thing.
I'm trying to find it. I think I found it. Oh, that's something.
Yep. We can't show that on our Christian stream, but yeah.
That is a naked teenage girl on the cover of a manga. Yep. That's.
It doesn't actually show anything.
Why? So okay. No, it does. It doesn't show anything, right? But like, I think what pisses me off more is not that like I get it. It's supposed to be like, oh, we see her face or whatever, but like she's invisible.
We've already seen her
invisible. Yeah. So like, what's the?
There's no point to it. It's literally just like to stir up stuff, which is why I haven't like reacted too much to it because like I'm not giving him that. But it it is stupid on so many levels, and I'm just like, but it's mainly people's reactions that were getting me, because there's people who are like defending it and like, oh no, like blah blah blah, and I'm like, whatever. I mean, it's Horikoshi, but like, he's gonna have horny people defend him at all times.
Oh, of course.
But like, there's people who are like genuinely betrayed, and like they're like, I would have never seen this coming. This is my comfort anime, and I'm like, still?
This is your comfort anime? That was like 5 years ago, my dude. I don't know. I
don't know people who still read My Hero. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the abusive dad redemption arc bullshit song and dance. He's like a main character now. I don't fuck with it. Yeah, I don't. Horikoshi's made a lot of choices. There's like a very weird, like almost like Edo adjacent relationship that happens. That's around where I stopped reading.
Oh yeah.
And like, there's just a lot of shit. I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. This is not going anywhere. This is not fleshing out people who I wanted to flesh out, and I'm not getting anything out of this anymore. For those of you who don't know who we are podcast, I used to really love My Hero Academia a lot.
Yeah, no. It's
in fandom a lot.
Yeah. I was reading more into what this issue was. Apparently it's the cover, and apparently like the chapter has nothing to do with like the ongoing plot. So I don't know like what. And the thing is that all of the criticism, like by the way, for all you weird, not all you guys, I know not anybody listens, but for all the weird censorship people, it's Japanese people being like, this is weird. There's this weird thing that people are like, oh, but in Japan they're cool with 15-year-old girls being drawn naked. No, they're not. Like, just because it was allowed for a while doesn't mean like everybody was cool with it. Like, it's not like.
That's what I try to explain to people. I'm like, there are people there who like don't like this, right? And part of the reason it's such a thing is because it's an export to horny white people.
Yes, that's where a lot of their sales are coming from, is from American readers. Like, it's not like I feel like people like have this concept of, and we've talked about this before on the show, right? They have this concept that they only make manga for Japanese people. And that's not the case. Like, they're making it for whoever's going to read it. And if their audience is across seas, they're going to start trying to cater to them.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a global audience now. Like, those things are taken into consideration. There's some things that they don't let fly anymore because they don't think it would sell well in the States,
Yeah. And not everything's a scanlation. Like, these things are officially translated and, like, made for us.
It's not back in the day where, like, we put our blood, sweat, and tears and, like, carefully, like, pasting over stuff and scanning it in, like there's legitimate processes for it now, which is insane to me. The fact that I can go into Barnes & Noble and buy like a semi-niche like gay manga, it blows my fucking mind every time.
It's weird. So I remember getting Naruto was like a big deal when I was a kid, because like, and that was when that was getting localized in the States, and we were like really into it. But like, you couldn't really buy manga a lot. You have to go to comic shops a lot of the time. If you didn't have a comic shop in your area, you couldn't really get that. You couldn't get that shit. So it is cool to see it becoming a wider medium, but it also brings up a lot of conversations where people are like, "Whoa, it's Japanese culture," and it's like, "No, dude, they're making the shit for you." Like, it's not like it's not. You can't blame them for all the pervy stuff in it. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I have another friend who he is an enigma to me, truly, because he plays an anime fighter and he has like some cultural osmosis, but for the most part, he doesn't know anything about anime at all. Like,
interesting.
Other than, like, that stuff. So he's like never watched anything really, other than like a few episodes of like kind of basic anime, and he was like, "This isn't my thing." So like, him being in the Guilty Gear group is a lot of people like throwing stuff at him, and because he's my friend, I'm like, here's background info on this, just so you're like fully prepared going into this. Because someone like ironically got him into Fate, and I was like, bro, no, it's an ecchi, don't do it, bro, no.
Yeah, that's porn, brother. I'm sorry to let you know.
I remember when I told him that, he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, sorry. But like, it's so interesting the way people pitch some things to him. But like, I tried to be really upfront with him about like certain issues because people were trying to get him to read Chainsaw Man, and I was like, it is not going to be his thing. Like I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know what kind of stuff he likes. Yeah,
he's not gonna like it because he doesn't like that kind of humor. He doesn't like that kind of absurdity. It's not a good starter anime. First of all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, he hasn't really like read anything or watched anything. And so he's still trying to like pick one to start with. And I'm like, maybe I'll watch something. I honestly want to watch, oh my God, I cannot remember what it is called. Nichijou. That's right. The like really non sequitur one. I've shown him gifs of it and he's like, how many different styles does this have? And I'm like, a lot. It's really funny. And it's
Nichijou it's so funny.
It's funny as hell. And like he was like, okay, I feel like I could do that. And so I'll probably do that with him at some point. But like it's just so interesting talking to him because like I'll say something that to me is just like in my vocabulary now. And he's like, wait, what is that? And I'm like, okay, so and then I have to explain like a bunch of things to him. But like something I try to explain to him a lot is like it's not just that like Japan is horny, it's that like everywhere is horny and that there's a market for horniness.
Yeah.
And that's why like so much of the media is horny because it's what sells, because sex sells, you know?
Yeah, and exactly.
So we're working on that one. Magic, if you're listening, I love you, but it's they're nuanced.
It's a weird like medium to get into these days because it used to be easier, right? Like you used to have like your stock like 4 or 5 anime or manga. You'd be like, yeah, read Dragon Ball or read Naruto or JoJo if you like shonen, and if you like this, like watch Fruits Basket. If you want something that is dramatic, but it's not people punching each other in the face every 2 seconds. Like we used to have like our core like go here if you want this and go here if you want this. And I feel like now it's all
standards too in a lot of ways. And now I'm like, you can watch Fruits Basket, but I'm gonna give you a copy just in case.
You can watch Oran High School Host Club, but I'm gonna just tell you right now, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
it's got some shit in there.
And now I'm like, look, that used to be like my favorite thing on the screen Earth, but like there's some shit I cannot defend as an adult, and I don't feel comfortable watching it anymore. And people are like, you shouldn't let people ruin things for you, and I'm like, it ruined it for me. Like I didn't. Nobody ruined it.
That's my favorite thing is when like you say you don't like something and people are like, don't make others make you feel like that. Bitch, I made me feel like that. Don't tell me how I feel about this. Like, I don't like it. Like, what are you...
I'm having fun. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's so silly. Like, and that's the thing, right? There's so many different choices now. Like, you could be like, oh, watch Demon Slayer, watch Jujutsu Kaisen, watch JoJo. I think one of the things that dumbfounds me now about a lot of modern fans is it is kind of insane to me how many people like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure now.
Yes.
It wasn't like not popular, but it was very popular in Japan way more so than America. Even though it has a lot of American like rock references and stuff, like that's half of the shtick, right? But like in the past like 10 years, I would say JoJo has like exploded in the States, and and that's the thing, it's not like super easy to watch. It's a weird ass anime. Like
it's also bad sometimes. Like a lot of like I'm gonna get shot in the street for saying that, but like it's not good sometimes. And I enjoyed a lot of JoJo. But
it's really silly. It's out there. It's from the 80s too. Like so they haven't really updated a lot of the writing. It's just turning it into an anime. And I think that's really funny because I see people recommend that one like first, and I'm always like, you will immediately turn somebody off to anime or manga unless they're really weird if you give them that one first. Because I think what is JoJo start out with? It starts out with the very first Joseph Joestar, and like I think Dio like kicks his dog in the first 5 minutes, and there's like these weird fights.
There's dog. There's like there's not like any stands yet, so you're like, where's all the shit that people?
Which is funny because people talk about stands. That doesn't happen until like the 4th arc of the anime. Like that's not even like a big JoJo thing. That's like a small part of JoJo lore. And people talk about like people will open up about there's these cool things called stands. You don't get to that until like season like 4.
So you're doing like all this like energy manipulation
Yeah,
stuff.
that was my shit too. I love that art. JoJo is so fun, but I'm fucking weird, and that's why I think like sometimes when people runs out and says you should read Chainsaw Man or you should read
Same energy.
JoJo, I'm always like, no, that is not the first thing you should be recommending to
Exactly.
anybody. And I love JoJo, but that is not everybody's thing at all.
To me, it's a lot like recommending K-pop to people, where like I have a list of songs that I would recommend to people who have never touched K-pop in their life, or like who think they know what K-pop is, but they don't
Mhm.
know like the full scope of it. And I'll be like, okay, here's like songs I know you'll like because they sound like Western songs, right?
Yeah.
Here's songs that are kind of weird that give you an idea of like, you know, how unique certain parts of K-pop are. And then here's the shit that cracks me up because it's just really bad. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
just
any
bad,
music
yeah.
genre, you know, like you've done that to me with like rap music and stuff before
Yeah,
too. So
exactly.
like it's but like there's some people who are like, you should listen to this band, and I'm like, you should not touch them with a 10
Have you
foot
ever heard of
pole.
Stray Kids? Yeah,
God, listen to Stray Kids' full discography, and I'm like, no, listen to God's Menu, and that is it.
yeah. No,
Not else. I like their new song, but it's not. Apparently, a lot of Stray Kids fans hate it, which is really funny to
because
me.
Stray Kids fans don't know they have bad ears, so of course they don't like the only good songs they
Yeah,
probably have.
it's really funny to me because I saw someone talking about it, be like, it's so like it's really weird for them, and like I don't get why they would do this. And I was like, you don't get why they would have fun? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, people like when boy groups are super serious. This is my soapbox, and I will stand on it every single time.
Yes,
People
go
like when boy
off.
groups are super serious, but sometimes you just want them to be silly, goofy, and it's fine, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be serious. And like boyfriend concepts are fine because they're stupid, and that's what's fun about it. I don't
No,
know.
don't
Anyway,
you like music because it's serious? Isn't that like why
no,
music's fun? It's
no,
overly
I don't.
serious.
Don't listen to the new Denzel Curry album.
Yeah, I. Oh God, ass. No, I feel like that's a great like analog, right? It's like one of those things where I feel like it's funny because I grew up watching anime and manga because of my brother, right? But it's one of those things that it does have this weird like stigma around it. Like people do kind of look
Yeah,
at you a little differently if they know you watch anime because people have different. Some of it's
ideas.
racist conception, some of it's just they've seen stuff before and they're like, "That's weird. I don't like it." Like, right? And I feel like that's why it is kind of funny. I see people recommend animes to people, and I'm like, you don't want this person to ever watch anime again, apparently. So
Yeah, like you,
I
you
I
don't
do
want
want to
them to have.
know exactly. I do want to know if our readers have any manga they've like if you had a manga or
Yeah.
an anime that you like would recommend to somebody to like start in the genre, like
Hmm.
what would you recommend? Because I feel like it has to be something that's like not too out there, but it's not like boring as fuck, right? Like you have to have something where like there's a hook in it, but it's not
Right.
like fucking One Piece. Like I would never recommend One Piece. I would never
Too
recommend.
long.
I feel like Hunter x Hunter is only like really impactful if you've like had other shonens you've read before. Like, so I wouldn't
You
recommend
need a
that
couple
one.
under your belt for it.
Yeah, like which is why like I know Dragon Ball Z is like I feel like it like that first arc of that is such like a good like template for how shit goes in shonens that like it's such a like the whole like Saiyan arc, right? Like which is one of the more people aren't gonna like that I said this, but it's one of the more diverse arcs in Dragon Ball Z, and that was like one of the first ones. And like there's body switching and shit. Like it's so crazy, but like it's easy to follow. So like
Yeah. I
that's like
think
an
like
easy one.
that first part of Dragon Ball Z is a good place to start. I think currently out of the shonen that I can think of, like off the top of my head, I think Demon Slayer is the best one to start with for a
Yeah.
shonen, as it's not too overwhelming, but there's still a lot of really cool shit in it. Like I think a
Yeah.
lot of people don't like it. I've heard a lot of people don't like it because they think it's boring, and I'm like, I disagree because I think a lot of stuff happens, and I think it's formulaic for a reason. Because fucking shonen,
Yeah.
they're all formulaic. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And those are the same people who try to tell me season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen was good. So I don't. That's my hot take. That's my apparently my hottest anime take in the entire world because
God, look
nobody
at
agrees
you
with me.
going against the world.
I know I am.
I
It
need
was
to
bad.
actually I need to actually watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I have started Demon Slayer, and I noticed that is one of the recent anime that I get why it got people into anime. Because there's some people I know recently who that's like their first one. Like they watch that and they're like, I'm down. I can watch the rest of them. So yeah, I would say Demons. As far as manga, I don't know, because manga's so weird. I don't even know which one I would like start somebody out with, but definitely not Berserk. Not Berserk.
Sorry, I was looking at myself. I don't know if I personally have like a lot in my collection that I would recommend as like a starter to people. A lot of them are like more one-shot kind of things, like one-shot BL or Yuri, that I think people would like because it's a good story, you know?
Right.
Like it's representative of like a normal good story that is a romance, you know? Like that's a good thing. That's a good entry point to me, and then you can kind of figure out what you like from there.
Exactly.
And then like for series, yeah, not Berserk. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the Demon Slayer series is drawn pretty well too.
Yeah, it is. I like the way it's drawn.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen is very easy to access, and so I get why people would get into it that way. I do think it's confusing though, because I don't think you should read volume 0 until you've read the first couple of volumes to have like a little bit of context.
Dude, you just anytime something is named 0 and you're not supposed to read it first, that shit pisses me off sometimes. I hate that.
You can, but in my opinion, you shouldn't, because I read it first and it was very confusing, and then I realized all the context hinges on like a specific event that they talk about, explain to you, and so you don't have any context and you don't have any attachment to it. Right. Maybe I'm just built different. I don't know. Like I apparently have like a hate on for Jujutsu Kaisen, which is not my intent. I love the first It's beautiful. It made me cry like a fucking baby. But like, and I think that's why I was so disappointed with the rest of it. So.
No, I think that makes sense, and I feel like that kind of lends to like some of what I think it isn't, like why it isn't good to recommend some manga to people, because there are some anime and manga that are genuinely like not even like hating on the author, like just my genuine opinion, are terribly written. Like a lot of people in college and high school recommend Fairy Tail, one of the worst written, probably terrible, like most stereotypical animes I've ever seen in my entire life. They'll also recommend there's another one on Netflix. What's the Seven Deadly Sins. Seven Deadly Sins and Sword Art Online. Those three, avoid them like the plague. I think that's one of the worst things you could recommend somebody on their first try, unless they're like a teenager or something, right? Like if you're a teenager, like if you just found that and you like it, sure. But like I'm talking about like adults, right? Like I feel like if you watch like Samurai Champloo, right? That one is like decently written enough. You can follow what's going on, but it's also like weird enough. Like it's just weird enough to like grip you and make you. Because I remember watching that for the first time and wanting to like finish it, because it's just so much. It's so gripping. So like that's one of those things, but it's also like it's short enough. It's self-contained. Once you finish it, it's over. It's like 10 or 20 episodes or something. And
I think it's like a full 2 seasons. It's like 24, 22 or something like that. I will say I started rewatching it not too long ago with Sasha and Zach, and there are some things that don't hold up well. I think it's really good still, and I think it is a classic, and I still love it a lot and would like to finish my rewatch some point. There were some things where like Sasha reacted, and I'm like, oh, I totally understand why you reacted that way. I didn't remember that shit at all. You know, it's one of those for me. I will say, and I've tested this recently with someone who also doesn't watch a lot of anime. Mob Psycho 100 is a good starting point, but you have to just read a summary of like the first 3 episodes. Because they don't matter.
Because they don't matter. Okay.
They don't matter, and there's a lot of bad jokes in it, and I feel like one doesn't get his like footing until like episode 4, and then it starts like the humor starts hitting more. There's not transphobia, there's not weird jokes, there's not like humor nearly as much, and it really starts to like settle into itself. You can watch the first 3, they're fine, they're nah, but to me like they can turn someone off of the anime, and I'm like, I promise, if you get to 4 and 5, you will probably like the
Yeah.
rest of it. Like
No, that's fair. I need to watch that still.
Season 3 is fucking insane right now. If you want to watch a really cool anime with like the best action sequences in existence, I'm not like kidding. You should watch Mob Psycho 100. It's very good. It also made me cry.
I think one of the last ones I'm gonna recommend, just because I got reminded of it, and this is why Netflix turned it into a show, even though the show was terrible. Cowboy Bebop is super easy to just watch and get it over with. There's a movie after the end of it, but it's not essential. It ends like it's all self-contained. The movie's kind of just like a little extra, but because it's one of those things again where like I feel like all these shows, because this is how a lot of like modern like American TV is written sometimes too, but like if you can have like a show where like there's a central plot but like every episode is just kind of connected to it, like
it's
it
like
works.
all
it all connects, right? And on a less serious note, if you got through Cowboy Bebop and you've watched several weird animes after that, its weirder fucking cousin Space Dandy is also pretty goddamn good.
To finish that. I really wanted to.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
It got okay. So Space Dandy is very good. It was a really good anime, and I feel like what it suffered from was bad advertisement, because it was advertised like Johnny Bravo basically, or like a pervier anime horny Johnny Bravo, and it is horny. It's got some horny stuff in there, but it's mostly like weird. It's just every episode is this self-contained weird adventure through like Space Dandy's like whatever his like universe is, right? And they haven't brought it back. It only had one season. It's a full series, but if you're looking for something a little more wacko, yeah.
But I did actually think of another one, and this might be a controversial take, but I think if you are getting into anime and you want to like actually try something a little bit more out there that is not quite what you are used to, you may not agree with me on this. I think Death Note is a good one.
I think that's a great. No, I loved it. Okay, well, I'm actually surprised that you said that. I'm actually shocked that you said that, because I was gonna say Death Note as well. I think that's a great anime to start with. First season of
Death Note is a really good place to start.
I will okay, listen, I watched the entire thing, right? I did it to myself. I watched the whole thing. I will, anybody who watches it, that first season, perfect. I think if you want to stop there, that's okay. More happens after that. And the series does end. It has an end. It doesn't leave on a cliffhanger or anything. Like, it ends. Like, it does end. So if you want to, like, finish it all the way through, I think it's like 40 episodes or something. But it drops in quality significantly. Just plot-wise. It just gets a little... Like, it's already ridiculous. And then it gets it gets really bloated. They add too many characters. A storyline ends and they kind of shove another one in there to keep it going. But besides that, like, that's the thing, and as we're talking about this, I realize these have been adapted into like American like versions, right? Like, there's a reason they chose Death Note and Cowboy Bebop. Like, they are accessible. Like, they're more accessible than other things are, right? And they're really pretty to watch. But Death Note specifically is just stupid enough. Like, and I feel like that's what. Yeah, like, I feel like the anime you get into has to be just dumb enough, like a little suspension of belief.
Yeah, it was the second anime I ever watched on my own. My first, my first one was Vampire Night, which is, it's shocking I am anime this day. I did not finish it, and then I found out years later how it ended when it actually ended. Who fucking boy, Jesus Christ on a crutch. It ends with like the weirdest incest plot you could ever imagine.
All right, oh gosh.
Don't watch that one. I saw on TikTok, I feel like they're always trying to bring back like early 2000s anime and stuff.
Of course they are.
Like, oh, this is like, you know, because they're trying to keep finding ones that other people don't have or whatever. And I saw someone mention Vampire Night, and I was like, don't you fucking dare. And I went to the comments, and everyone was like, no, we don't talk about that one. No. And I was like, okay, good. I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
There was a really weird anime, like phase where everything was weird, horny vampires for, like, the early
It's great.
2000s.
No.
It was a lot, dude. It was like I remember like trying to read or like going to the manga shop or the comic shop and being like, what is this horny like blood shit in all of these manga like
You mean you don't
magazines?
want to read Rosario and Vampire?
No, I don't. I really see,
You
and
don't
this
want to
is
read it sketchy build to you as like a kid's comic?
I oh man, that just reminded me. I just realized a lot of people's first and only anime is like Pokemon, which I think
Yeah.
is very interesting
They don't
because
think of it as one, which is funny.
yeah, I feel like some people they like put it up there with like American cartoons, which is so funny because it's one of the most animes in the fucking world. It's very like it's very formulaic in the way they do things, and they haven't really changed the format much. Oh,
I don't know why my sound is doing that.
that's it's I don't know. It's all good, dude. Oh yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, ah shit, what was I talking
Oop,
about?
I didn't mean to go. You were talking about Pokemon and how people consider it an American cartoon.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of people only watched Pokemon. They've never touched any other anime, and I feel like that speaks. I mean, I know that's just because how popular Pokemon is, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
it was
because
a weird phenomenon here.
yeah, it was a weird phenomenon. I feel like the attraction of it, of like, it's these cute animals and you can make them fight. It just makes it easier to get into, right? So
Yeah.
like, which is why Yokai Watch was also a huge thing a few years ago as well.
Well,
Like
Digimon,
Digimon,
too,
yeah, it's
Tamagotchi stuff. Like
yeah,
it's the small cute mascot that it's yours and you can do
Pochita,
something with. Pochita,
yeah,
obviously.
obviously.
I actually have a sticker that's like a Tamagotchi that has Pochita on it on my computer.
Aw,
Because
adorable.
it's a black and orange computer, so that's what I named it at the time. Because I
Smart.
hadn't finished Chainsaw Man at the time, but it's fine.
I I don't know. I am wondering what people think though, because I think about this a lot because sadly I'm married to somebody who doesn't watch a lot of anime or anything, right? And it's not because like she doesn't even really have any like sort of like emotions toward it. She doesn't like think it's
Right.
weird or like
Just
judges it.
ambivalent.
It's just yeah, it just doesn't mean anything to her. It's just like there, right? So I'm always like brainstorming like what can we finally watch together, and I have ideas. I just don't really get around to them because it's always kind of weird to think about
hard
like
with Haley.
yeah, I don't know what because that's the thing. She likes a lot of different shit. She likes so many different things.
Right.
She likes action. She likes gore. So like it's always like I'm always racking my
I
brain
like
to be like
Slayer, actually.
I think she would. I think she'd like
Other
it.
people use it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we should watch that one together. I just always remind myself that like yeah, I grew up like as a single digit child like reading manga and watching anime, so it's just normal to me. So sometimes it's like how do I step out of that to be like oh, what's
Yeah.
not weird from that
Yes.
person's perspective? Yeah. It's
And that's why like my friend, like talking to him is so interesting sometimes because like I have to really think. And like sometimes he'll also be like, that's weird. And I'm like, oh, I'm not weird for thinking that's weird. Thank God. That like
Yeah.
normal people don't like that shit. It's like anime that leads people to believe that this is normal. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
okay.
It's like almost. I'm like, oh thank God. Okay. But yeah, it's really hard to like think about what to recommend him. Unfortunately, I have like 5 kind of like non-traditional anime that I usually recommend to people because they're very different from what most people expect out of anime.
Mhm.
And I just kind of stick to that list whenever people ask me. But what I was saying earlier about Mob, I have a friend who also doesn't watch it, and I recommended him Mob and like my other ones, and he started watching them actually, which is groundbreaking to me. No one ever listens to my recommendations, but he told me, he was like, so I watched like the first like 5 episodes of Mob, and I understand exactly what you meant by. So I was like,
I'm curious
cool.
now I have to watch it because you've told me this several times over the years, and I just now I'm like, okay, I have to know. Like, can you tell me exactly what it is? I just want to see like how I like feel the shift, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like they could be so much worse than like what they are, but they're just like they're pointless to me for the most part. There's like 2 plot things you need to know from it. That's it. And then you can move on with your life. And that's how I think everyone should handle it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like the second one almost turned me off of watching it because it was also on the tail end of that one really awful character being introduced in One Punch Man, which the author also created. And so I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. And then I got to the next episode and I was like, begrudgingly you have me. And then by the end of season 1, I'm like, this is one of my favorite anime ever. Like, this is the perfect, almost perfect anime. Yeah.
Gotta start that one.
But I have more things I could say, but we should wind down.
Yeah, we should wind down. I don't know. I might turn this into a separate extra episode about.
Game over!